Well. What's going on, everybody? I hope I sound good. I was messing around with my audio. I hope it's not echoing. I know it's been not necessarily me echoing, but it's been whoever I have on as a guest. So let me know if Mark is echoing tonight. What's up, everybody? Day 2 of We Are Doing Nothing. We are doing nothing. Look at my thumbnail. Day 2. I got the yacht on there. It's a shit show, people. All right, Brad, thank you. Hopefully, when Mark comes on, Brad, that'll be, if he's not echoing, then I finally fixed it. So let me know. It's this Rodecaster Pro, this newfangled thing. So what's up, everybody? We got Brad Harris in the house, JJ, David Belier, Lady Libra, Vinny Hagen, Clemente. What's up, Clemente? What's going on, everybody? Are we ready for day 2 of this shit?
Back. Brian. Are we back?
We are.
Back.
Yeah,
Brian.
don't start. Dude, you're a dick. So let me know if Mark's echoing or if he sounds good. Hopefully he's not echoing. Because if he is, I'm fucked. Excuse my language.
Hey, what? Okay, all right. So I'm a dick. Okay.
No,
So
that's all good.
when Washington said we won Dallas, apparently they won all of our players for sure.
Well,
my stomach, Mike Brian. Let's see. We officially suck. Well, if there's anything I can say that will actually make it maybe
what's
feel
up,
a little
East Side?
this is exactly where we were last year. This is exactly where we were, and we won 12 games.
All right, thanks, JoJo. Hopefully that was it then. Yeah, I know. Everything sounds good. Thanks, John. You Vegas. What's up, John? The Cowboys are going to get a new coaching staff and Sanders from Colorado. Shador Sanders. Okay. Hey, I wouldn't hate it if that meant we're getting Dion. I'll take it. So, but again,
The problem will be is again. One, you're going to have $36 million dead money next year for Dak.
yeah, no, we're not. I don't think that's happening, but I was just entertaining it for a second.
Well, seriously though, if you're Dak, why do you want to continue to take? I mean, do you want to finish off your career like?
Well,
Tony
you take
Romo?
money now. If you sign a big deal now, but I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't know.
No, hold on. Would you rather?
Devontae Parker shot Yassine. Hamid. Eagles signed Devontae Parker. He's shot. He's a shot fighter, but whatever. Anyway, go ahead, Mar. I'm sorry.
No problem. Let me make sure I get my words right here. Would you rather end up retiring with the Dallas Cowboys, no ring, and having all of their records and made a boatload of money, where the fans always say you were a choker, they'll basically look at you like Danny White, or would you rather go ahead and say, let me take this last chunk of change from the Cowboys and decide to go to a team that's got a loaded roster that actually wants to support you and win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I see that.
What's
up, Chiz Cowboys?
Honestly, who out there actually cares, shows any kind of love for the man that is actually happy about what he's done? We literally have him as running up as MVP, and here it is. You got the guys.
What's up, Sports Junkie?
Rather have Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins. I'm like, well, why not bring back Andy Dalton then?
Because he can't play.
They're already blaming Dak Prescott. We can't do it because Dak Prescott's contract. Dak needs to take a team-friendly deal, and they need to go out and get some play. They're not going to go out and do that. They're not going to do that. I don't know why people seem to think that's
what the Cow.
It's not in Stephen Jones's DNA. He can't stand signing free agents. And it's because
here's the deal. And you said it when you said this is every year. My problem lies in this. My problem is we are a smart fan base that's been waiting for a winner for 29 years now. 30. We're going on 30 years. 30 years. We're down. It's us and Lake Cleveland. I think we're down to us and Cleveland and the last two teams that have been to a championship game. Everybody else in the league has been to one. So, okay, Washington. Okay. So, and then when you have your owner, you're coming out and doing these bus interviews. I've told everybody this, where he's yucking it up with his writers saying, we're going all in. Shut up. You're not helping the situation. You're making it worse. All in. In what world is all in having a draft when you don't have a pick in every round? At that time, it's ridiculous. Listen, when it's over, I'm not that upset about it, Derrick Henry. Yeah, I was just getting caught up in what he said, and I think a lot of people were. If you would have said, hey, listen, we're not going to be players first couple days. We need to, make some moves, and we're going to get to it, but everybody chill. All right?
Here's what kills you.
I know you like them they like to be talked about. Fucking bullshit.
Don't say we have interest in
anybody. What's up, Marcus Blackman?
And then put it at our price. Of course you do. Hell, I got an interest in a Maserati if I can get it for $20,000 too. But I ain't gonna be able to get that Maserati for $20,000. Hell, yeah, I got interest in that. Of course I do. But don't make it.
I know. But that's what made it worse because
why that you're doing something that you're not going to do.
Because I think they could be creative. I'm actually more excited to go if we get a couple of the guys that I want in the draft as far as running back. But the problem lies in you have to look, and they will, people. They will go out and get a couple bodies. They will get. Don't laugh at me. They're going to get Eric Kendricks most likely or Bobby Wagner. Probably Eric Kendricks, maybe both of them. They're going to be on the cheap, right? They're going to go out and get a defensive lineman, okay, a DJ Reader, whoever that is. They'll get one. Now, I don't know if you heard the latest news. I heard it from Brian Broaddus. He said he talked to somebody in the building, and they said that Mozzie is already putting weight back on to be a one technique. So that was orchestrated by none other than Dan Quinn.
Okay.
So Mozzie Smith's putting the weight on. So
that goes back to what, and I'm not mad at Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn had a philosophy where his whole thing was, we are going to disrupt the quarterback. We are going to get to him. And if the Cowboys were a team that always had a lead, then you were great. But
yes,
once
we do, Vinny.
And we're able to run the football, then boom. That's where your problem went because all of your guys were undersized. David Wiley, what's going on, Mark, in Game Time?
What's up, David? You ready for the draft or what, my man? It's getting close. We're inside 6 weeks. We're right at 6 weeks.
We need to start getting that money together on that thing.
I got the rental car rented, so we'll talk about it. We'll come up with a game plan. I'll subtract the one day that I'm using the car because I got to get it a day early. But we'll talk about all that, and then you could just add it. We'll divide it, and then we'll add it to the room. That's all, and then I'll give you whatever you need. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, David. It'll be fun. I'm
gonna do our first drawing here.
Yeah, I got my lottery wheel. I just don't have any shirts or nothing to give away, so I gotta start.
Shit. Okay, sorry, David. You've won enough.
Here we go. You're going to piss off another cousin. He earned that shit. Well, David knows. He'll just go take one when he goes to your house.
Well, here's the thing. Quinn did the best he could with what he had. The Cowboys weren't going to go all in. El Boogie is the winner.
Dak Prescott is the best QB in the NFC. Fuse 3, what's up, buddy? I haven't seen you in a while. Let me get to my chat real quick.
Michael Wright says he likes my guess. He's very smart. A++.
Well, then sign up for my channel, Mike. Come on, bro. I'm actually rolling here. I'm actually I'm up to, I don't know what I'm up to. What the hell am I up to? Let's see. I am up to YouTube studio. I'm up to 1813. So, for me, that's good. So we're closing in on $2,000. Mark said, this was a couple weeks ago. Maybe you can get to $2,000. Now it's maybe you can get to 2,500. He's always pushing the bar. Good for him, man. Good for him.
I tell you what, it's feast time because people are enjoying the misery of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
See, when things are good for the Cowboys, people
Me
don't
too,
show
David. I'm mad at Quinn, FM. Dan Quinn pisses me off. I don't blame Dan Quinn for leaving. I blame him for listen, this is how it was. He didn't have that dynamic piece until Micah Parsons came along. But we still were thin in a lot of areas. We were doing it with not all pro guys. When we're holding on to like Jonathan Hankins, like, oh my God, we need to get Hankins back. Hankins is a veteran minimum type of guy. So for us to hold out all that for him tells you what kind of talent we had. And I disagree with a lot of people. I was listening to like one of the shows on DallasCowboys.com, and they were like, John Machota was like, this team has had a lot of talent. They've been loaded. And I'm like, okay. And then he goes, you can't expect, last year was their all-in year. I'm like, look at their record against playoff teams. It was below 500. What are you looking at that I'm not? I'm not saying they're not talented. Right, Mark? I'm not saying they're not talented, obviously. But when they match it up against the big boys,
you're not the same.
You're not the same.
The excuse, I don't know what it was with Green Bay. I still think that they went in there and figured we've got a 16-game win streak. They relaxed because, we got the number 2 seed, and they got punked. Okay, that can happen. But for the most part, what they were doing on their defense without having linebackers, I'm sorry. You can say it's Dak Prescott's fault. When you have a 207-pound linebacker, and you got the opposition saying, you got a DB at linebacker, we were going to run it. I don't want to throw against that defense because you get picked off. But with that linebacker right there, we knew we could run the football. So, yeah, there's that. It's always about... And it is always below. Well, no, we do. We did beat the Lions in there, so don't say it's only those. We have some good games. We beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's horrible. I'm saying it's not what. Don't act like that was all in. That's you doing your job. I don't know.
All in with a single free agent.
Yeah, having linebackers. Like I said, you lost Overshown in the preseason, people, and you hung your hat on a bunch of people that you didn't even feel good enough to not expose them on our practice squad. They all got plucked, Devin Harper and such. And we went in with Damone Clark, who had a so-so year last year. We were excited about him, but we didn't really know. And a often injured Leighton Vander Esch. So, what are we expecting here? That's my thing. What were we expecting?
Derrick Henry has officially signed with Baltimore Ravens.
Well, tomorrow, but...
Well, he's... Yeah.
He's gone.
Mixon was traded to the Texans. Washington is going to get Gallimore next. Stay tuned. Go.
What's up, Yassine?
Good luck. Yeah, they're trying. But, here's the thing, though. As good as I'm going to say, Dorrance Armstrong played better than
son
it was going to be. Okay. But I still think that a lot of that was because of the way Dallas Cowboys defense was. Having Micah Parsons getting doubled and triple teamed helped his career. So, I look at Dante Fowler and I look at Dorrance Armstrong. They were rotated. They were full-time starters. And when you're able to do that, you're able to really get your motor going. So we'll see how they rotate, of course, and that's probably will be Dan Quinn rotating him again in the same fashion. But I'm not going to say those are lights out players. And $15 million for Dorrance Armstrong is a lot of money.
It is. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. But that's what happens when you have a lot of money. You knew they were going to do this, but I am not that I'm not that worked up about it. Washington can have them all. I could care less. They're going to be better, but they're going to have a rookie quarterback. They'll be a little more exciting. Okay, all right. Well, I think that we all get emotional yesterday, but we just need to see something happen soon. We need to get beyond these first couple days. I see a lot of people in the chat saying it's not that bad. Which is good. The Cowboys appreciate you, I'm sure. It's just frustrating that we got to continually. What's up, Brian Harding? Oh, thank you so much, Brian Harding. That we continually are being sold one thing. Like we have an analogy in my chat here where it's like, it's like a chicken brat. It's like a cooked chicken, and you cook the chicken, or I'll smoke a turkey, and I'll start like dinner will be served, and I'll look over, and all the good shit's picked off, man. And I'm sitting here weeding through the
They don't
all,
even save you the
yeah,
chicken.
you know what I'm saying? It's like that's where we're at here. All the good shit's picked. Now the good shit, that shit is also. You can get some gems though, if in the dark meat. Pause. You can get some nice moist gems if you just look hard enough. So it is what it is, people. I keep hearing Eagles are done. They went and signed Devontae Parker for 1 year. Okay, he's been done for multiple years. I could care less about that. I really could. Kevin Ledford in Mark's chat. If the Joneses way right, why aren't the others following? If the Joneses way is right. Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cowboys were the very last team to make a move,
Mm-hmm.
and we signed our long snapper. So there's that.
For 1 year, veteran minimum with they guaranteed like half of the salary. But we needed him back. He was very good. Moist. Shane Baker, what's the matter, Mark?
Okay, so maybe let me try and
He looks down.
I am down.
I am too, but it is what it is.
The porch swing out there and just swinging and just thinking about the Cowboys. I've always felt like we've been close. That just a couple of pieces, not bottom tier ones. If you got a nasty defensive tackle or a stud linebacker, and or a great running back, if you did just those three moves and then went to the draft, I'd be happy as shit. Now,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the Cowboys were right not to overspend on running backs because this was the polar opposite of last year. Last year, you couldn't give running backs away. This year, everybody went crazy and realized running is important. And they are recognizing that they do need to draft a young guy. And we know that running backs, in the grand scheme of things, it's better to have a young guy for the first couple of years and let him go than it is having an aging back.
Yeah.
So may be the case. And it may be that they're looking here and letting the dust clear, and then they jump in and start trying to do some things with maybe the second tier types guys. Like you said, maybe, Bobby Wagner hasn't signed with anybody. Daniel Hunter hasn't signed with anybody. That maybe that relationship with Daniel Hunter with Mike Zimmer, that maybe there's going to be something there. Maybe they're going to say, we're going to do one big signing. If they were to do that and then go into into the draft and go, I'd be okay. Because then you got a running back, you got an edge rusher to go, bookend with Micah Parsons, and you can look at linebackers and so on. But if they do nothing,
yeah,
bro.
Well, Danielle Hunter's still out there. I don't know how many of these guys. I don't think pretty much anybody on this list we would be in. But the top 10 free agents left are Danielle Hunter, Calvin Ridley, Tyron Smith is a number 3 overall free agent left. Justin Simmons, safety, basically in the box linebacker, doesn't fit our scheme, I don't believe. Chase Young, edge. Josh Reynolds, Jadeveon Clowney. I don't even think Clowney played last year. Jeremy Chin, Kyle Duggar, and Kevin Zeitler guard Ravens. So that's the best that you have left.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of interior linebacker and linebackers that are out there that have not get signed, and we will get some people. We need to fill out our roster before you draft. They will do that. Am I happy? Of course not, because it seems like we're always in this position. Other teams are flipping switches, risking a little bit of cap problems if it doesn't go well, and then rebuilding. That's what I don't understand about this whole situation. The one thing that Dallas does do, for the most part, is draft. And they put a lot of work and resources to their draft. So why wouldn't you want to go all in and then every fifth year or so have to reload? I understand you don't want to do that because you want to stay good, but you're not winning anything.
But I'm going to think about this for a second. Okay,
Simmons
so
is in Philly. Yeah, I guess maybe he fits your defense better. I mean, he's okay. Thanks,
going
Elena.
to Derrick Henry, we only had $2.2 million. Let's put it that way. The Ravens signed Derrick Henry, but you know that they were minus $180,000. So they were actually in worse cap shape than we were. And we'll find a way to make that deal.
Yeah.
Remember when New Orleans was $73 million over the cap? They're
Who?
right there
Yeah, yeah,
behind
yeah,
New
yeah. Yeah,
Orleans.
New Orleans. What's up, Andrew Martinez?
They right now are only $1 million behind us. So there are ways of getting money if you really and truly want to do something.
I
But
think people get caught up with names. Um, I think they do. It is what it is. I mean, you give me a Joe Mixon or somebody like that over a guy like Saquon Barkley. You get him a lot cheaper, does the same stuff. I don't know. That's just me personally. I'm surprised the Eagles spent that kind of money for running back because they're the ones that started the whole we don't spend a lot of money for running back. So I was kind of surprised at that, but I think they are in desperate mode. They're trying to make everybody happy in Philly. And again, shout out to them. At least they're shooting their shot. They're doing what they need to do, whether I agree with it or not. Yeah, I don't like Simmons or Chin, these safeties. So I'm fine right now. We just need to get a defensive lineman, a linebacker in here, and go draft. That's what we need to get. We'll see what's Daniil Hunter. Who has money that's out there that can afford him? I mean, we're
have to actually see how all these numbers shake out on the cap because we're all going by
yeah, it's kind of tough.
um, how much better is Barkley from Swift? Good point right there. I would
Not
say that he
much.
I would say he's more dynamic and she can
Yes.
probably work in the passing game and stuff. But again, Barkley has a tendency to wear down. And this is a 3-year deal. If this thing ends up being that he doesn't last, the Eagles, they've got a ticking time bomb between Hurts' contract and now this one and some other ones that at some point they are going to have to blow everything up. And if Hurts ends up being not that guy this year and they want to move on from him, you're going to see a cap hit that makes Russell Wilson's look kind of not so bad. Mark avoids Dak's case. It's brushed off. Uh, Fans of Cowboys, what am I brushing off? He's suing somebody else for defamation. He's not getting sued. Now
Now he does have a statement out there, and there's nothing wrong with this. This was from 2017, people, and
yeah.
he said it was a consensual relationship. And then,
It's not for him for $100 million.
this was what was alarming is you normally don't start his attorney's got a legal letter. Oh, well, Mark, you had it on your channel. I don't know. I was listening to one of the 105.3 The Fan. They had the guy from Pro Football Talk, and they were talking about it. Do you know the Dak Prescott story on day one of free agency was their most clicked, newsreel on Pro Football Talk? Was the Dak Prescott $100 million lawsuit on day one of free agency when the Eagles are signing Barkley, and the number one most popular thing that was clicked was the Dak Prescott. That's what Dallas is. They control The media. It sucks in a way because you want them to do other things, but you know, she started out with $100 million lawsuit from jump. That's not what normally happens.
Well, when you put out those big numbers and you settle out of court, for a lot less, that's scare tactic,
Yeah.
kind of like when I was hit by a dump truck and I had banks and associates and all that. They were like, "Oh, you don't." I'm like, "I'm not that bad. My back's a little sore." Like, he's like, "You don't know how bad a shape you are actually in. This could be $100 million suit and this, that, and the other." I'm like, "Really?" And it's like, okay. In the end, it ended up being $6,000,
Hmm.
but that they settled for. So you put out a number out there that is high to try and get them to
The
negotiate, and then you
Cowboys
give
have
it.
Micah, CD, Bland, Tyler, and Jake coming off up next off season. Well, here's the problem that you know Brian Broaddus was talking about, and this all goes back to Stephen Jones when he structured these contracts and flipped switches. What you don't want is to have multiple contracts up at the same time, and the Cowboys did it to themselves by how long they structure the deals when you have to that's I don't think Stephen Jones can walk, talk, and chew gum at the same time because I think he has an issue. All these contracts are coming up at the same time. You can't have it. It needs to be a nice rhythm to your contracts. And that comes from not wanting to pay your guys and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Being put in a position to have to give a contract. I mean, it's disappointing how he works the cap like a magician. Jimbo, he does. I don't think he drafts all that great, but he has a lot of bullets this year. Mark
Mhm.
looks so damn salty when game time talks about the Eagles.
No, I was actually reading because I
Yeah, I
hadn't.
know, Mark. He wasn't.
Been,
I like
was re-
saying it because it's the truth. Now, that being said, I'm a Cowboy fan. I hope we beat the hell out of them. But again, I'm going to call it how I see it. CD's agent said he was not going to sign until Jefferson. That comes from good drafting. Yeah.
Yep.
Dan Saleo talks out of both sides of his mouth. I like Dan Saleo, but he's not the end all be all. None of us are. We all have our own opinions, and you'll agree with some and not agree with others. That's what makes it cool, I think.
Lo, you are asking the exact same question that Philly 500 did, and that is, why didn't the Cowboys restructure Dak Prescott's contract? Well, they have restructured it many times in the past, and here's the thing: um, right now, the voidable year, they have 36 million in dead money. So no matter what, you got 59 this year and you got
Mm.
36. However you work it, if you want to take 20 million of it this year and kick it to next year, you're still paying the same amount of money. So again, I think this is where the Cowboys are trying. This is my true take, Brian, and you tell me if I'm crazy. What the Cowboys truly are trying to do is get a leg up on Dak Prescott negotiation. Basically, Todd France has already let him know we want a $60 million a year deal. We want 60 million. And when you look at how the money has gone up each year, because if you look at the year before, we had Aaron Rodgers at 50 million. Now Joe Burrow's at 55. Before that, it was, the $40 million mark was it before that. Before that, it was the 35 and the 30, so on. So that's kind of the
I
natural
hear you,
progression.
Oscar.
So what the Cowboys are trying to do is they're trying to tell you that there's no money to sign anybody, which is the same thing they did before. When Dak Prescott signed his deal before, they
Tony,
got rid of Cooper because, well, there's no
there's only
money to
one pie. Yeah, there's only one pie.
do with the guys from the fan is say, we'd rather have Baker Mayfield at, 35 million or Kirk Cousins at 45. And, then we'd have money to go ahead and spend on other. They're going to sully Dak Prescott and make him the fall guy. And the reason why, if they were going to do stuff, as Jerry said, well, we don't have to sign Dak. Why are
Mm.
you talking about waiting until August to sign him? What is the advantage of waiting till August?
I
You
don't
think it's going
know.
to cost less?
No, it's going to cost
Getting
more.
money now.
Yeah.
This is where you say, sorry, Jerry Jones, you're full of shit.
I was actually encouraged when they interviewed Dak at Troy Aikman's Cancer Foundation, his gathering, because he sounded like he knew that they had talked. He knew that they needed to extend out to help the team. That's when they asked Dak about. He's curious to see what all in was. Well, again, we're going to the draft. We're gonna see. I'm hoping that they're gonna trade some of those next year's picks and to move up this year. Just I would hope that they would. We're in for what, 3 compensatory picks right now? Alejandro Garibay.
Garibay, I don't know.
Why they was let us down and never get good players. Alejandro,
That's
they
a
want
good
to
question.
draft, man. And they, for the most part, they're a hell of a drafting team. Last year, I mean, they're not, listen, the draft is not an exact science. That's my issue with the whole, we're going all in the draft. We know starting out that the draft is not an exact science. Different players progress at different stages. I have no doubt they're going to get a day one starter, round one for the offensive line. None. I'm hoping we could drop down a few spots and grab another top 100 pick. And, I think we're good. I think we got Brock Hoffman, who can be our center. I really do. But it's not sexy. And I know people want sexy, but Brock Hoffman, is a beast. And he's the one on the sideline that was firing up when he was filling in for Biotish. He was the one in the middle of the circle. He's got a big upside. They love Brock Hoffman. Not that they wouldn't draft a guy who's rated really, really high, but he's an option early on. If they draft a rookie. But anyway, go ahead.
Somebody said, "Do y'all really think that Dak's worth $60 million?" Here's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
saw that.
Well, here's the thing that you have to understand is
Hell nah. Oh, sorry.
you look at it by the percentages, okay? Because 60 million this year with the amount of money that the cap went up is really like 53 last year.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you start to, when you think about when Kirk Cousins or when Dak got his 40 million, we're still talking about the same percentage of what the cap was
Yeah.
because it was 182 million. So $182 million and you're getting 40, or you're getting 60 at 255. There's $78 million. No, sorry. There's $85 million more money in there. So you're still taking the same piece of the pie at that number. So if you're saying Joe Burrow right now looks like a bargain because the cap will go to 55.
Right.
Come next year, you're going to be looking at guys getting like 65, maybe even a 70, because the salary cap going up like it did this year, it's not going down. They're doing games in Brazil. You've got more streaming platforms that are doing games, including playoff games. Gambling, it's blowing the fuck up, okay? And that's just straight royalty. And so as the money continues to go up, they're talking about, actually, let me look at here because this is where it's funny. The projections for this year's cap were originally going to be 42. It comes out to 255. If we look at the projections right now for 2025, they're only saying 260. You're going to tell me that the cap's only going to go up by 5 million when it's on average goes up by 20?
Yeah, I don't know what it's going. I did hear today that they're not expecting it to be very high next year. But again, I don't know. I could be wrong.
But by 2027, even a conservative numbers wise, they've got the base salary cap at 315 million.
And that's not taken into account, Mark. If they add an 18th game, like they're already talking about doing, that's gonna be bring up. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Rhonda?
A 60 million right now. 2 years from now, that's going to be a bargain. And the problem is if you want to be mad about Dak Prescott's contract, be bad at the Joneses for not dealing with this sooner. You had all season.
Well, that's the problem. We wait
to deal with this. Maybe you could have gotten Dak for 55, before Joe Burrow got his. In which
Yeah.
case now
Well,
we're not dealing with this. We got cap relief and we're going to be in great place down the road.
I'm not arguing with anybody over Dak. Dak Prescott is a really good quarterback. Now, again, this whole team struggles in the playoffs. So it's not, you can't sit here and say Dak Prescott. When Dak's been healthy, he's been elite. But again, it's a team football game. I always go back to when the Eagles fans want to troll me. I'll say, well, okay, Jalen Hurts has had a subpar year 2 out of his last 3 years. We all know he's a real good quarterback. Why was that? Well, okay, his defense sucked. His offensive play calling stunk. It's like, again, people can have their opinion, but he's a hell of a quarterback. Whether he's here long term, I don't know. I do know that the Cowboys want him here, but they like to negotiate in the media. And I think the Tad Prescotts and I think Micah's uncle, they don't help the situation. But I really don't think the Cowboys could give two shits what they say. They're going to do what they're going to do. Every time I hear them talk, they want Dak back. But I believe they're trying to get him for around the $55 million mark. And I don't know that he's going to do that. He might. I mean, I was kind of surprised with the quarterback salaries over the last couple of days. You can say what you want about Kirk Cousins, but that's his comp as far as a lot of different stats. People want to say he's the black Kirk Cousins. Well,
Okay, so let me ask this for people out there that are trashing Dak. So Russell Wilson's deal currently is 49 million, right?
let's
Jalen Hurts,
ride.
Jalen Hurts got his deal 51, right? 51 this past year. Would you take
Wow.
Jalen over Dak Prescott?
Oh, would I take who? I'm sorry.
Jalen Hurts over Dak Prescott?
Um, I don't think so. No, I wouldn't.
Justin Herbert's at 52 and a half. Would you take Justin Herbert over Dak Prescott?
I might because he's younger. That's all. I'm not saying he's a better now. He's not as good as him now. Right? Elaine
Okay.
at 55, I think is fair.
All right. Then you got Joe Burrow's at 55. And the problem with Joe Burrow is he's missed 2 seasons in his career with injuries.
I know.
And so you have to start worrying
I
about
like
him.
Joe Barrow though. Me personally.
Got 219 million fully guaranteed.
Mm.
55 million a year. Now, you got Deshaun Watson, who I haven't heard of them doing anything with his contract, although there's not a lot you can do with it because he is guaranteed money. He's a $62 million.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. That you got to remember everybody in the world hated Deshaun Watson's agents and the Cleveland Browns for doing what they did. They fully guaranteed, what was it, 230 million? Is that what that was? Something like that.
Cousins was fully guaranteed at 3
Yeah,
years.
but
Like,
they gave Deshaun way over the top money because he had no intentions. Remember, he had the no trade clause. He wasn't going to Cleveland unless they did this. So,
here he is 63.97 cap hit this year, 22.1%.
yeah, and that's bad. That's a bad.
He's the same thing the next 3 years.
But you cannot use that as a marketing point. Well, that's better than him. That's a horrible contract. You can't use that number. He got it.
If they were to cut him this year, it's a $200 million hit.
Yeah, that's why
it's 136.
they're regretting that every day. They just went out and signed a quarterback today too.
Yeah. And they've got 60, but nobody's talking about that deal.
Now, yeah, that deal was horrendous, and everybody hates that deal.
But you know what's
Jimbo's
crazy?
son, again, don't get upset when I never said he's regressing. I said he had a down year. I live in the area, Jimbo, son. I live in the area. He's on the hot seat.
I want you to think about this for a second, though.
Here we go.
So Cleveland is saddled by a $63.7 million cap hit for the next 3 years for Deshaun Watson. that's fully guaranteed that they can't do shit about, right?
Son of a bitch, Ball. Why didn't you just go home?
How is it
That's
that
your
they're able
home.
to
Are
trade
you
for
too
Jerry
good for your
Judy,
home?
right? Get another player, be able to keep people like, Amari Cooper on their roster, right? Have guys like Myles Garrett and pay them and still have $4 million more than we do on the cap.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? You see, we are the wealthiest franchise in all of the world of any sport by a couple of $1 billion. We never sign any big name free agents, yet every year we have money problems. This is where the Cowboys need to say, how is it that the Cleveland Browns can fuck up and pay their quarterback $63 million fully guaranteed and still have more money than we do? How
Because
how is it
Catboy, the way they did their contracts,
Eagles, how
they're,
the
they're
Eagles can mess up with Carson Wentz and take a $34 million dead hit
because
and
Howie Roseman knows how
still
to.
end up bringing in all kinds of players and go to the Super Bowl?
Howie
And still,
Roseman will address it, pay it, and it's all staggered. Not all their contracts are coming off the books at the same time where they have to re-up these people. We should have addressed Dak Prescott last year. We didn't have to let it wait, So, all this stuff, and he's not the only one. We're going to wait on. Now we're going to wait. Now we're going to wait on CD because he wants to let Justin Jefferson get his. Okay, so what's it say? You're going to beat Justin Jefferson because of maybe his stats in 1 year. We're going to, the longer they wait on Dak Prescott, who needs to be paid? Who's it? Josh Allen? Is that the guy who needs to be paid? Who's up for a contract? It's Josh, right?
well, it'll be actually Pat Mahomes will be, Trevor Lawrence will be.
Well,
They'll
that pick's
probably
not looking very good at this point.
they just restructured Josh Allen's. And it's funny because people say, "Oh, Josh Allen, he's a team player because he gave money back." It's like, no, you don't even know how it works. Restructuring just means you're moving money down the road. It's not giving money back.
Yeah.
Mark, your professional GM, Eric Green or E Green. Shout out to you. I said Eric because Eric Green was actually a quarterback we had at JMU. Cowboys money is invested in deals differently than other times. For example, high risk policy. Okay. Well, Prescott's contract will hold Cowboys hands down. Um,
What's up, Michelle C? Mark, can you explain until you're blue in the face? None of the fans listen. Front office full of shit. Asman and Jerry and Steven eating pinks on the yacht? Probably not, man. They probably wouldn't go anywhere near pinks. Cody Pearson, Mark always hating on Josh Allen. No, he didn't say nothing about Josh Allen. I brought him up. Wow, look at E Green in the house.
I agree. Walker Wade, I agree that the quarterback shouldn't take up 30% of your cap. I agree with that. Now, here's what's funny though. Okay. I need your help, brother. The only way to fix the Cowboys is to boycott the Cowboys. If we stop buying jerseys and tickets, it'll affect their profits and we will be a better team uh, together then. The problem is they can wait us out. They got billions, bro. And there's revenue sharing. And I'm sorry, we're not even a drop in the bucket.
Levante David just re-signed with the Bucks, 1 year deal, $9 million. So he's gone.
Let's take this. Daniel Hunter signs a 2-year, $49 million contract. Did you see that?
With the Colts or no?
Oh, with the Texans. 2 years, $49 million.
Because I just saw an hour ago Colts have had talks with Daniel Hunter.
Daniel Hunter signing 2-year, $49 million with the Texans.
That's
definitely out of price.
Yeah. He was the number one free agent out there. So
here's what I want you guys to understand. See, the Cowboys' problem is the Joneses don't know what they're doing with their contracts.
Jeremy Chin headed to Washington.
Hurts, who got a $51 million a year contract, $255 million total money. Okay. You know what his cap number was for last year, guys? After signing a $255 million contract? $6 million. Do you know what his cap hit is this year? $13 million. Do you know what it is next year? $25 million. Do you know what it is in 2026? $31 million.
Wow.
Do you know what it is in 2027?
Yes, Corey.
$40 million. Okay? That's one. Let's go to another one. Let's take Joe Burrow, who's getting paid $55 million a year with a contract worth $275 million. Okay? His cap number last year was $19 million. Mind you, he didn't play much last year, didn't do well when he did. This year's cap number is $29 million. His cap number next year is 46. His cap number in 2026 is 48. That's not so bad, is it? Let's take Justin Herbert's contract, who's getting $52 million a year. His number last year, $8 million in the first year of the deal. His contract number this year, $19 million. It does get up to 37 in 2025 and 46 in 2026, but doesn't hit 58 until 2027. So when you guys go through and say Dak is sucking up all the money, Dak's contract was only for $160 million. That was it. We're talking about deals that are $100 million more that don't have a cap number that hits $30 million for the next couple of years. So when you look at this, don't look at it because of Dak Prescott's contract because he put a gun to their head because they waited till the last minute and didn't know how to structure a contract. That's not his fault any more than if you go to the car dealership and you see the sticker price on the window and you pay the sticker price and then pay an extra $1,000 for wheel locks and undercarriage paint or whatever. That's not the dealership's fault. That's you for going out there and signing that freaking contract that they made. So don't give me this saying, well, Dak's got to go. You know who's got to go? It's Cap Boy, though, how he's making these damn contracts.
It's a lot of money, Nike 3.
That's what you have to look at.
Looking at what we have available here, people. Again, running back, we're going to draft one, okay? We're going to draft one. Hopefully it's Trey. There's 3 guys I would love and whatever. We'll deal with that another night. But we're going to get one. J.K. Dobbins is out there. Now, J.K. Dobbins is a guy who's coming off a knee. Fits, but, I mean, he's only 25 years old. And when he's healthy, he's really, really good. So that's about it. You got J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon, I went no part of, and Dante Foreman, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But if you could get a J.K. Dobbins for a 1-year prove-it, I'm healthy guy, I would be in on a J.K. Dobbins and draft a guy. He's a very electric running back out of Baltimore who obviously they're not in the market. Get him on a 1-year right up Dallas's alley and draft a guy. I'll be happy with that. J.K. Dobbins is really good. He just had the knee injury. We don't, just going down everything else. Offensive tackle, we're not going to use free agency. There's a slight chance that Tyron is back, but I don't necessarily, I'm not going to close that door, but he would have to make our number, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, it might be that the numbers that he's looking for might not be there.
Yeah. Center, we don't want Connor Williams. You got Connor Shelton, Evan Brown, Nick Gates. We're getting our center in the draft. There's any number of guys. There's 3 or 4 different guys that we could get. Again, we're probably going to go with Brock Hoffman anyway and draft one. I'm fine with that. Brock Hoffman is just as good as Biotish, I'm telling you. Guard, we don't need guard. We may draft, but we're not, sure as hell, we're not going to go into free agency and get a guard. Interior defensive line. This is where we talk. The highest rated guy left is DJ Reader, the guy I liked. We got Sheldon Rankins. We got Hart. You got Quentin Jefferson. That's really about it. You got Poona Ford, but I'm not a big Poona Ford guy. Solomon Thomas, Jonathan Hankins down the list. But yes, we still got DJ Reader, Sheldon Rankins. So there are guys. Reader is the guy that I've been talking about. He's not a perfect player, but I think he would fit well. Edge defender, Daniil Hunter, you say he's gone, right? You got Jadeveon Clowney and Chase Young, Carl Lawson, Derek Barnett, no thank you. So basically, Dante Fowler's gone, right? Yeah. So I know they liked Emmanuel Agba coming out of the draft. He's way down. He's free. Maybe you bring him in as a body. But you're not really going to get edge in free agency. You want to give Sam Williams some time. Linebacker, here we go. Bobby Wagner, Jerome Baker, Devin White. Unless, is he the one that just signed? Was that the one that just signed, Devin White? Is that what I said? Let me go. Let me see. Somebody just signed. Oh, no. Levante David just signed. So Devin White is still out there. Bobby Wagner, Jerome Baker, Willie Gay, Zach Cunningham, Shaq Leonard's out there. So basically, Bobby Wagner, Eric Kendricks, that's who you're looking at. We're not going to be doing anything with corner unless it's our guy, Jordan Lewis, and what's his name? Stephon Gilmore. I think we're going to bring Gilmore back, hopefully. You know, it is what it is. We're going to be in on the draft. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, we're going to have to. In which case, we need to come up with some more draft picks.
Yes.
We're definitely going to need to come up with some draft picks. One thing that kind of surprised me is that there's no market really for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
That they thought that, oh man, we're going to be in the driver's seat here. That market dried up real quick. I mean, you got Sam Darnold, of course, going to Minnesota. How'd you like to be Justin Jefferson?
But I don't know that he's going to be handed the keys. They still may. They're probably going to draft a guy, right? Now they're probably really going to reach and draft a guy at their draft spot.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right, so we've got none of the guys. Well, Bobby Wagner may be the only guy we get. Oh, boy.
DJ Reader, Bobby Wagner is what we need. Dobbins is worth a shot at running back. Yeah, Corey Pearson. I like J.K. Dobbins because he's only 25, coming back from a knee injury. You get him on the cheap, on a prove-it year where he can sign a deal and go, because we're going to draft a young one anyway. He's probably going to leave after this year, but give me a J.K. Dobbins rather than bring back Rico Dowdle, or Malik Davis. Give me.
So maybe this is okay. So let me.
That's right up their alley.
Let me look at. Let me.
We can make a difference, Vinny. We can.
All right. I'm just reading the countersuit that may be coming here. So, reading about the Dak Prescott lawsuit where they filed defamation suit where the woman basically it said that he assaulted her in 2017 in the back of an SUV. And that it's caused her to have to go to therapy and problems with her fiance and so on. And that's why they were trying to settle out of court. Now, their attorneys are hinting that they're going to have a suit that's going to be going back. Now, Levi McLaren is kind of like the Cowboys fixer.
Let's sink it, Brad.
All right. So he's like, when Michael Irvin had his problems and stuff, Levi McLaren was their attorney there.
Right.
Is that the Cowboys are saying, we need the dust to clear from this thing before we sign Dak Prescott?
Nah.
I mean, you think, okay, hold on, but think about this, though. With Zeke Elliott's situation, there was friends of hers that basically said there was nothing there. There were the NFL did their 103-page report, and the investigator said there was nothing there. But in the court of public opinion, you saw how it was with Zeke Elliott. People today still say that he's a sexual predator and this, that, and the other, and still got suspended. Cowboys, I'm just saying hypothetically.
No,
I'm
I'm
trying to
laughing at somebody in my chat.
but it may be that the Cowboys are going to say, let's let this thing clear before we do all of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't think that has anything to do with it. Dak Prescott, anytime you see somebody come out as aggressive as he was and file a countersuit right away, you're basically saying to the NFL, come on and investigate. I got nothing to hide. It's not like they were trying to pay off the girl. No, absolutely not. This is a clear attempt. So, again, sorry to say.
Are you? Hang on 1 second. I need to do the other one too. Let me get that while you're doing it. Okay. I don't know what's going on. That's going to be that's going to be one of those things that it doesn't necessarily matter what the facts are. People are going to take it and they're going to use it and blow it up and make it a lot more. When you think about, remember when Mike Farello was talking about there might be a tape of Des Bryant that's 10 times worse than Ray Rice?
Yeah.
That was speculation and everything else, and that there was no tape. But in the court of public opinion, it gets put out there, and
Brother Rob, breaking news: Cowboys signed Cat Williams after seeing his 40-yard dash. Patrick Green just went to the Steelers. Yeah, Marcus, we saw it.
Yeah, I saw that because I'm like, what was Cat Williams doing out on the
Fucking
field?
Cat Williams. But we called it, right? We called it. All these teams are going to have money. We don't have money. It's just how we roll. And it's just think about if the cap didn't go up as much as it did, Mark. How bad would it have been then? They would have had to have flipped more switches.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to flip switches. Yeah, nobody cares. Des said it's a rebuild season. Short dog, very possible. Rebuild and still try and win. I don't know how it's a rebuild when you win 12 games.
Yeah.
I think when you have the talent that we have, let's see how the draft plays out. I don't necessarily hate that idea. Get rid of. I'm ecstatic. Like if we get rid of Tyron Smith, I'm tired of. Listen, he's a great player when healthy. I'm tired of being beholden to him. I'm excited to give Sam Williams a shot and give him the reps. I'm excited to get our young wide receivers who I've been telling you, Jalen Brooks is the real deal. All right? I'm excited for that. I'm glad we're getting rid of Michael Gallup. Get the Jalen Tolbert more work. I'm happy with that. So a lot of this is good. Nobody we've lost yet I'm upset about. We just haven't added anybody. If we bring back Gilmore and Hankins and maybe Jordan Lewis, go out and get a defensive lineman and a linebacker like I've been saying. We're going to draft a linebacker. We have Overshown coming back. We have Damone Clark. How many linebackers do you need? I mean, don't forget the free agents. We always do well with the free agents after the draft. It's not as bad as people think. Our division got all the pieces, and that's why we're sitting there all pissy. But I would have been more worried if the Eagles kept Swift, went out and got a Patrick Queen. To me, that would have been scary. We've played Saquon every year. That's the real, he doesn't scare me anymore. The edge rusher, he's a good player. I mean, I don't know much about him. He played for the Jets. I like Hassan Reddick. I don't know why we're trying to push him out the door, but fuck, you know.
Okay, sorry, had to take care of that.
No, you're good.
I don't know. I'm George, Georgia gentleman.
George. Oh, sorry.
Our team is not quick fixes. We are a dynasty. 5 Super Bowls, 12-5 win season, 3 years straight. We won the division. Maybe we need to show more enthusiasm.
He'll be better with the Eagles, Mouse, or potentially. Yes, I get it, but let's not act like, you know, as Cowboy fans, we're not really worried about Saquon. We're just not.
Saquon has never had big games against us, hence the record we've had against the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we're saying. Hey, Mouse, you guys played it. You guys are fishing in the big boy pond. We're in the little. I don't know if you saw my analogy, Mark. You know, we wait until all the big fish are caught, and then we starve the little fish, right? And then we just drop a hook in there. We're gonna get one. We're gonna get a couple of little fish because.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead. What's up?
Game Face Gaming says Dez used to curse Dak about and complain that they weren't on the same page till Jerry got rid of him and saved money. Same thing with Amari Cooper. CD is the next you watch. He's already having problems with Dak and his mom.
No, slow down. Slow down.
Rhonda's Lovely Spark says, working for the DA, I've seen a lot of Dr. Jekyll's and Mr. Hyde's. No, that could be true. Nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors. We can't stop the run. You were right about that. Should have gotten rid of
What's up,
Henry.
the Coven? Yo, game time. Wake up. All you Cowboys, wake up. You're still on. They're on vacation. I worked all day, bro. I don't know how y'all do it, Brian. LOL. Mouse, it is what it is, man. Kid Cowboy, 55 mil. You wouldn't do 55?
Who?
No, he's saying 55 mil with a smiley face. Jack Meeker, we just have to do our deals with Dak and CD before we even start looking at cheap free agents. What's up, man? Jack, we don't even have to do that to sign some of these cheaper free agents. There's all these different contracts. You know, let me ask you this. What if in the draft we give up a fourth next year for Stephon Diggs? Would you be happy with that?
We're ecstatic with that.
So there's a lot that still has to play out. So Dallas may earmark some pieces. Who knows?
And this is the thing that we may not know, that there may be.
We have nothing. That's why we're so upset. Until there's something, meaning Dak or whatever. Yeah.
There may actually be a plan out there for, like a Stephon or something. Or, like I was saying, Courtland Sutton. I know you're not high on Courtland Sutton, but there may be where they're having some discussions, and boom, out of nowhere, they do something, which would be great. I don't want them to come out and say, we're going to go ahead and do this, this, and this, and do it, and it costs them, an arm and 3 legs. I just want you to do something.
I agree, Reese the Beast. They'll find a way to do it. Yeah, I don't hate Courtland Sutton. I don't. And he'll probably be good, but I'm just saying, I don't know what I would want to give up for him. We need our draft pick, so what are we giving up?
For Judy was a 5th and a 6th.
Yeah, I don't think he's as good as Judy.
Okay, well, if it's a 6th rounder.
Yeah, yeah. I would do that. We got 2 of them.
Right. So, here's the thing you got to look at is Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks. They ended up being definitely positive. That should make you realize and say, okay, if we target some guys that we need in places, let's do that and bring in some extra talent. That actually worked.
Dallas is like the buzzer. They wait until the prey is dead, then get the scraps. Thanks, Malik. We getting the scraps. What y'all think about Clyde Edwards-Helaire would cost us? Probably $4 million, if that. He won't get as much as maybe two something. So I said we'll get somebody. I like my plan with J.K. Dobbins and draft a young one. I think that works out real nice. So that's just me though. He is coming back from injury, so maybe he'll take a 1 year cheap deal, $2 million, prove it. So we shall see.
Thing going on with the Cowboys, and free agent frenzy is definitely slowed down. Roberto, a year wasted. Here we go again.
I'll be on tomorrow at 3:00, so I'm off tomorrow. So I'll do my morning video. Then I got to get some stuff done outside, and then I'll be going live for the trade deadline. There'll be stuff coming out.
Clyde is terrible. Trey Lance is just as good as Fields. Tua, Love, Purdy, already developing several years. He's ready to start. It only costs $22 million, $25 million if we don't guarantee another team will. Yeah, okay. I'm glad you have faith in that, but I'm sitting there thinking that he didn't move up to even backup quarterback. Just saying.
Yeah.
So
No. Mouse, I believe Saquon is a threat. He's, I'd be curious to see how he runs behind a good offensive line. I'm just saying we've seen him for years now. We're not scared of Saquon Barkley. Just to me, not any more than Swift. Swift was a nasty little back, man. I don't know what happened behind the scenes there. You think you would have saved your money.
I would have rather had
Swift. Like re-sign Swift, go get you a Patrick Queen, go get you like a safety, or go get a corner or something. I was just surprised. That's all. I'm not saying it's bad. Hey, Mouse, you guys are in the pool. You guys are taking your shot. Probably wouldn't have went Saquon. I wanted Derrick Henry on a 2 year at most deal. He got a lot of money too. So, I want to go young at the running back position. I want a Trey Benson. I want a Braylon Allen. I want the dude out of Tennessee. There's a few guys that I'll take. So, and if that happens, you're talking 6'1", 223. The Trey Benson that's got, that could take it to the house. Hell yeah.
Well, the Texans are definitely going all in.
Yeah, and they should, man. Eastside Harold, shout out to your squad, man. It's exciting when they're young. That's the only thing when you do rebuild, but you got to have that quarterback. And they got it right last year. It fell right to him. So we'll see what he does this year, like Mark says. You always got to remember about that sophomore slump type of deal where teams are actually, okay, this is what he does well, this is what he doesn't do so well. We've seen a lot of times in year number 2, they're not the same quarterback. So we'll see. They're smart to put a lot of ammo, on his team to help him with that. They didn't necessarily do that with Dak when he was young. I know, you're not done yet, Jimbo's son. I get it. You're not done. Deuce Vaughn, RB1. He's the truth.
He's going to have to be.
Resign Smitty, free up more money.
Patrick Queen signed?
Yeah. He's with the Steelers. I saw it earlier today.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, this is breaking news. The lawyer for a woman accusing Dak Prescott of sexual assault told 105 The Fan her client was raped by Mr. Prescott. Said Prescott's changed his story several times. And admitted consensual sex occurred. So they were speaking on The Fan.
Did you get some audio from that?
I don't know what show it was. That was Calvin Watkins saying that they were on there. Why would the Cowboys radio station allow opposing lawyer interview? Seems weird that during contract talks
ratings
happening. Well, this is, I'm telling you, this right here is Des Bryant, that there might be a tape that is 10 times worse than Ray Rice all over again. Wow. Okay. This just got real.
Mm.
That's really interesting. Ray
Okay,
Rice.
okay, cool. I think I fixed it. I'm listening to it.
So I'm trying to see if I can find the audio for it. And of course, Mike Farello, he's got plenty of tapes out there. Let's see, because he's the one that started that shit before. Let's hear what he.
Of all the stories that landed yesterday, the one that drew the most traffic at ProFootballTalk.com was posted around dinner time. We had received a statement from Levi McCatherine, who represents people like Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I listened to this earlier. That's what I was talking
He now
about.
represents Dak Prescott, not as a defendant, but as a plaintiff. What happened was on January 16, a letter was sent to Prescott, a demand letter. That's what the lawyers call it, Chris, where lawyers were advising Dak Prescott that they have a client who alleges, accuses Prescott of sexual assault in February of 2017. And for the modest sum of $100 million, will not go to the police and release all claims. And he had until February 16 to give them an answer. What he did on March 11 was he sued everybody for extortion. Everybody. I mean, scorched earth. The accuser, 2 lawyers sued on 7 different legal theories or thereabouts, basically saying it's all fake, it's all phony, it's all made up, it's all a cash grab aimed at threatening him to quietly give them money. Otherwise, they'll take this public and make him look bad. He's taking it public, saying it's false. And look, if that's the case, if this is false, this is the way to do it. Fight back. Shout from the rooftops that this is fake and this is phony, and I'll prove it in court that this is all one big effort to shake me down.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, that's a strong comeback. There's no doubt about that. The kind of comeback that you'd want to see, right, if you want to believe the guy didn't do something like that and is being taken advantage of. And hey, Dak Prescott, he's got the type of money in the bank already to go, oh, okay, hey, you wanna play this game? Well, I got some resources here too that can make your life interesting as well. We'll see where it goes. Certainly always sensitive situation, when you talk about these type of subjects here. But Dak Prescott looking like he ain't gonna sit back and be the victim, that's for sure.
He's vowed to donate anything he recovers from this effort to charity. And ordinarily, when you go against an individual, there isn't money there backing it up. But the 2 lawyers may have assets that are now at risk because of this effort. And look, it's typically very legitimate. If you've got a client with a claim, before you file suit, you send a letter engaging in efforts to resolve it before it goes to court. But man, when you ask for $100 million out of the gates, something doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah.
That's
I hear you there.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
$100 million is your opener? Why not make it $1 billion at that point? So to me, seeing that number made me think these lawyers are up to something, or they just don't get it. Because you don't, for a claim like this, based upon the allegations in the letter that they make, $100 million is not a realistic starting point.
Yeah, this is serious.
Type of negotiation.
We'll see how these players feel today.
See how it plays out, though.
Right.
But
$100 million out the gate. Okay. I mean, that's crazy. So I don't know how that one's going to work.
That's what I was telling you earlier.
But apparently she was on 105 The Fan per Clarence Hill. So I'll have to try and find that and listen to
Yeah.
Sad to say.
Yeah. Well, I listened to that's basically what I listened to earlier. But they were talking to Sean and RJ in the morning, and they said, that's that guy who runs Pro Football Talk. He was an ex-attorney, so he knows all about it. So he was like, it was a little. You don't normally start out with, we want $100 million in a letter, to the attorney, and we won't do nothing. That's not how it works. Normally, it's there's been an incident. And then there's a trail, like a paper trail. It doesn't just come out, $100 million, let's go, first time you hear about a lawsuit. So, but Sledhead, like Mark's saying, you're right. This may be just the excuse that they're looking for to bring down his value. You know, they're going to put in the caveats in the contract, and it's just bad timing for Dak.
You ain't lying.
Mr. Cowboy, what come up 7 years later? I'm not going to be mean because we don't know exactly what happened. I'm not going to sit here and I know, but, you know, to me, if you're traumatized, right? You're traumatized, you would want to do something. I could see waiting a year, maybe, or a few months, and your family's like, hey, listen, man, you were wronged and you need to do this. It's not like you didn't have money then. You know, it's just interesting. Jalen Mills agrees to deal with the Giants. Yeah.
By acquiring Amari Cooper, and Jerry gave it 2 years where Cooper started complaining Dak wasn't hitting him enough and made Jerry think it wasn't worth the money since it wasn't working. I will say that it seems like most teams, with the exception of the Cowboys, look to bring in more talent and weapons for their quarterback. Am I not right on that? Didn't we see all these teams go out there and say, let's get the best running back that we can to help our quarterback? I mean, the Texans have C.J. Stroud.
Again, I wanted Henry, but I didn't really want all these other guys. It would have been nice just to do a move, but I really didn't want all these guys. I mean, I thought we were going with what wins. Look at the teams who've won Super Bowls. Do they have a stud running back? I'll wait. I mean, you know, you could say McCaffrey. They went in. You want to talk about going all in? They went all in.
Play like McCaffrey.
Balls deep. Pause. They went all in. And what happened? They lost. So you had Isaiah Pacheco, 15 minutes down the road here. Her 7th round draft pick has won the last 2 Super Bowls. I mean, I'll wait. Who was the last stud who won a Super Bowl? I'm not saying there hasn't been one, but that's not how you win. I'm not worried about running back. What I am concerned about is our offensive line right now and our defensive line. You can get me a young running back. We can get a young running back. We do have Deuce Vaughn. I like what he can do. We have Hunter Lepke. I like the kid a lot. I don't think he's listed as a fullback, though, Mark. I think he's a running back. So,
AJ, shout out. Dak deserves the benefit of the doubt. What about the character tells you he's
hey,
guilty?
Lori, how are you?
Been through with his mother.
Supposedly, the boys are using analytics for the running back position. That would not surprise me, Lori. Todd Gurley or Fly Parks. So yeah, he was the last one, right? But in saying that, Fly, you would say though that they went all in. Remember that Ram team? They went all in, did they not?
Oh my God.
Yeah, they had everybody, Fly. So that's all I would say. I'm not trying to somehow circle back to your team, Fly, and say that you guys are screwed. Shout out to you for going to get Saquon. He's a dynamic back. We had Zeke, and I would say Saquon's more explosive than Zeke is. But what would that do for us? You know, so we'll see. Philly D, what up, buddy?
Super Bowl. You can have,
I like Deuce Vaughn Pioneers, a 3rd down back. I do.
But the reality is you can have a great team and still not win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to win a Super Bowl without having a great team. You know what I'm saying? You have to have the players to do it in all phases, okay? We've had times where our kicking has let it down, or our holders let us down, or our defense has let us down. How many times have we been there? If we could just get one stop, how crazy is it that I remember being in Hawaii watching the Cowboys taking on Denver, and that was the 51-49 game. And in the end, Tony Romo, last drive, throws an interception. And, basically everybody's, that Romo's a choker. Well, your defense gave up 51 freaking points.
Yeah,
How about
exactly.
that?
Exactly. He went toe for toe with Peyton Manning.
Right. How about your defense?
When the other team knew you were passing the ball.
So. And this is the kind of, your quarterback sucks. Well, what was your defense? They gave up 50 freaking 1. So, at some point, if the Cowboys were to move on with Dak Prescott at the end of this year, but I heard that. How would you feel about that?
I would, if they moved on from Dak, I would. My initial reaction would be, "Uh-oh," and then my next reaction, and then,
Uh-oh.
and then we would be like, "Are they going to do anything with it?" You know. So it's like, I don't think that's the answer. I am curious to see what Trey Lance has. He only has how many passes has he? He's played 3 games in the NFL. People forget that he started 3 games in the NFL, I believe. So
It played in 4.
4,
total.
but I think he started 3, which is like, okay, he's young, he's green.
Passes. And
I
people
mean, I
will say,
think he's good, Brad. I just think he's injured a lot. I don't know how we can say he's not
talent
good.
that the Cowboys have, he'll be great. And it's like he didn't have talent in there in San Francisco.
No, I'm not. Yeah, again, I agree with you. I don't, here's the deal. We had Dak Prescott, who was playing really good on a rookie deal, and they didn't go all in. So why do we expect, if we get all this extra money by not signing Dak, right, that we're going to go all in?
Yeah.
There's always some sort of an excuse with this team. So, but how would I feel? I'd be very apprehensive and nervous because I remember all the lean years without having a quarterback. I know who would be happy is all the NFC East teams because it'll be easier to beat the Cowboys without Dak Prescott. Yeah, we may choke in the playoffs, but Dak's record in the East is what, like 27-7, something like that. Some weird, some like crazy number like that. So. This roster after the draft will be properly prepared for a young QB. I hope you're right, Cowboys. You bring some.
8.
How much? 32-8. Yeah. Think about that. That's his record against the NFC East.
And we have the fans saying that they'd rather have Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins.
Because it's all about the playoffs. You know that. And even though when you get to the playoffs, you play the hard teams or the better coached and the better talented teams, and you just can't roll. Let's face it, our division has been horrible on pretty much. Giants have stunk and Washington have stunk. Eagles have been good. It's been the Cowboys and Eagles taking turns winning the division.
Yep.
So,
Washington during COVID.
Yeah, and Washington won 7 wins and won a division. So they're going to flex on that. Yeah, go ahead. I think that was the Dak Prescott injury year, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
It was. Well, I think we have beat this dead horse enough today.
Yeah, I think so too, man. Thanks for everybody who came out. I'm off tomorrow, so I'll be doing a video in the morning. I'll have my live stream at 3, and then I'll have my live stream again tomorrow night at 8 for the Hump Day Live with Prime Time.
Yeah, get humping. We are exactly 2,500 away from 100,000.
Nice.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's
Water boy.
my mic is low.
No.
Oh, I be talking too much.
Yeah, you've been talking off the side. You're like shooting.
Tear
But
it
I
all
fixed
down
it.
and scratch. It's funny people keep saying that. Tear it down, but I don't know that they're going to be happy about the team being 5-11 for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They keep saying, tear it down and start over. Yeah, and then what if they can't get it right? What if we end up drafting like we did last year quite a few of those times? What if Will McClay ends up leaving after this year and you tear it down?
I'm hearing that a lot too. And Forehead will be running a draft. Your boy.
Well, so the only guy, the only guy that we really wanted, or the main guy we wanted, is Bobby Wagner. Everybody else has pretty much been picked up off the board, right?
DJ Reader. I'd like to have DJ Reader. There's a few. There's a few guys. Give me DJ Reader. You bring back Hankins, give me DJ Reader. Bring back Gilmore. You can bring back Jordan Lewis on the cheap. That's fine. If we do that, then you give me Wagner or Eric Kendricks to play linebacker. I'm good.
And then go into the draft.
And then go into the draft where we will be hanging out with hopefully some peeps because I'm looking forward to it. This is hard, but pause. But it is what it is. We're used to it. We are used to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here. And I want to say thank you to all the good people that are here. I probably will do something tomorrow as well. But I don't expect anything to happen. I mean, basically, you've seen all the major deals already happen yesterday and today. Tomorrow will just be finalizing those contracts. So definitely check out my man Game Time Brian. He's closing in on 2 G's, and we all appreciate all of your support here. I'll say keep the faith because it can't get much worse.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already pretty much got the roster and stuff, so we have nowhere to go from here but up. And have a good one. Peace out.
Pioneer. These are XLR microphones. So Pioneer is asking us why do we wear headphones and speak into the mics? Because I had the other setup when I first started streaming. I had this and I could hook in a microphone. That would be a USB mic. This is an XLR microphone. I could hook up and start singing. I know Rhonda wants me to sing, but all right, everybody, I'm going to roll out of here myself. Thank you for hanging out with us for a little over an hour and a half. Yeah, just coming up on an hour and a half. Remember, tomorrow I'll have my morning video tomorrow. Then I will do a 3 o'clock. We'll go live for a couple hours tomorrow from 3 to I don't know. We'll play it by ear. A lot of the moves will be actually signed, but there'll be more moves that we could talk about the actual day, and then live stream tomorrow night with Primetime Phil. So everybody, thanks for coming out. Mark Hutchin, thanks for the super chats, buddy, and I will talk to everybody later. Peace.